Hi, I'm Merrick D'Amato,
And I'm a classic gamer.
and welcome back to Let's Play Broken Sword, The Shadow of the Templars, Director's Cut.
Yes.
Also, fun fact, this word,
It was just
flic,
some police paperwork, a search warrant.
that's French for cops.
Oh.
As in,
Oh, that
police,
word.
but yeah, flic. As in police, policier. Cops,
Ah,
flic.
Excuse me, Sergeant.
What do you want now?
Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak to him?
Yes, I do.
One moment, monsieur.
are you going to do the whole thing?
No, we already did that once.
It's Stobart, monsieur. He insists on talking to you again.
Did he say what it was about?
No, monsieur.
Very well.
It's got a big tie.
Yeah, it's got a big
It's like a clown tie. Suspicious.
Hi, Inspector. Remember me?
But of course, Mr. Stobart. My mind is a well-ordered faculty. A mental classification system that's the envy of the Bibliothèque Nationale. No tricks, mark you, monsieur. Just exercise. Just as our muscles waste through inactivity, so our minds decay. But there is no need. If only people would learn to exercise their wits daily.
If he was trying to impress me, it worked. He was pompous and patronizing, but he had style.
Eh bien, if you called about the bombing, you're too late. Investigations have been closed.
But
I've been taken off the case.
what about the murderer, the dead guy?
It is out of my hands.
Did you find out the ID of the guy who was killed in the explosion?
I already knew who he was.
I heard that the
course you
bomb
did.
victim's name was Plantow.
Your sources are reliable.
He was a big shot at the Treasury, wasn't he? Maybe that's why you've been taken off the case.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I cannot comment.
Don't you want to know what I found out about the killer?
I told you, monsieur, the case is closed. I have washed my hands of the whole affair.
Then I'll have to continue my investigations without your help.
No. You must forget the business of the crown completely. Go back to being an ordinary tourist, Stobart.
So long, Inspector.
Is there anything else important to get here or no?
Not really, I don't think.
Do you know a man named Khan? He's a shifty-looking guy with a scar on his right cheek.
No, monsieur. Has this man any connection with the bombing of the cafe?
Yes. I believe Khan was the name he used when he hired the clown costume. I know the identity of the dead guy. His name was Plantow.
Is that so? You knew him, did you?
No, but
We'll know everything there is to know about him soon enough.
I'm trying to be helpful here.
The best way you can help us is to go home, monsieur.
Fair enough. Let's
See you
go
later,
home.
Sergeant.
Let's get the
Go home with him back to America,
Yes.
California?
yes
Or-
first flight out.
I wouldn't. Like, who the fuck are they to tell me when to go home if I'm on holiday? Okay, yes.
Who the fuck is George to try to investigate a murder in another country?
Well, you could be a lawyer, investigate something. Oh my god, that was fucking weird.
It was indeed. Is there anything important to be gained by talking to them?
We have to talk to her, but let's go upstairs first and do the thing with the door.
If the tailor's description was correct, this was the killer's room. The sign on the door read 22.
Ah, of course.
The door was locked.
Actually, go back and look at door 21. I think that's
Who
the other
are
door we
you?
have.
The police?
I'm conducting a private investigation.
Ah, I know only too well what you mean. That is one of the drawbacks of the catering business. When people book into an hotel, they leave their morals at home, no?
Might have to do that before we can actually know.
The door was locked.
Have a look at that. Look at the door and see what number
The
it is.
sign on the door read 21.
That's fine.
The
Hopefully
sign on the door
you'll-
read 22.
As I've mentioned, I quite like this motif. You know what that it looks like?
Can't really tell.
That's a thistle,
Ah,
symbol of the greatest country on earth.
I'm not sure which kind.
Scotland.
Oh,
What now, monsieur?
I'm
Clowns.
looking for a man who dresses like a clown.
This is a highly respectable hotel, monsieur. There are no clowns here.
If you say so. Do you know a man named Plantar?
No, monsieur.
oh, actually, I think you have to examine the bloody key on the hook. That's my bad. Sorry.
Hanging from a brass hook was a key and a plastic tag.
Excusez-moi, monsieur.
What?
You are trying to steal that key, no?
No.
No way.
Ah.
What now, monsieur?
About the key hanging on the hook over there.
Oui, monsieur.
Which room is it for?
Number 21.
Is that room taken?
No. The guests checked out this morning.
I'd like to check into room 21.
That is not possible.
How come? You said it was vacant.
It is reserved for another guest.
Rats.
So why didn't you say
No,
that
monsieur.
at
Dutch.
the beginning? Is that room vacant? Is that room taken? No. So why can't I check in? It's reserved. That means it's taken.
Well, he didn't ask if it was taken. He asked if it was vacant. Legally, the room is vacant right now because no one is in it. But he should have said, "Is that room vacant?" No, but it's reserved for another guest.
Hi there, ma'am.
Well, hello.
Jesus Christ.
What can I do for you?
I'm looking for a man.
You disappoint me, my dear. For one foolish moment I thought... But never mind. Aren't you going to tell me your name?
George. George Stobart, ma'am.
How sweet! I once had a stable boy called George. I am Lady Piermont. The common reaction is to kneel and stutter, but it's not obligatory.
A real lady? I mean, you're an honest-to-God aristocrat?
Oh, I don't know about that. Few of my ancestors are honest, not even to God. I can trace my family back to the Normans, but don't let that intimidate you, George. Beneath that impressive pedigree, I'm just flesh and blood. The
Sure.
blood may be blue, but the flesh is the plump beef of old England, so to speak. You appear distracted, George. Is there any way I can help you?
I'm looking for a murderer.
Good heavens! You're a private detective.
That's correct, ma'am.
What's the term you Americans use? It's on the tip of my tongue.
I believe what you're thinking of is Dick.
Precisely.
Which means
Oh
something-
my god, I just fucking got it.
That means something totally different in the UK.
Oh, it means that in the States too. Why do you think they took the piss out of you so hard for the pudding called Spotted Dick?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you call someone a dickhead, it literally means dickhead. It doesn't mean...
But
And also...
him saying you're thinking of Dick, and she's like, yeah, I am. It's like, yeah, it's the joke.
Would you distract the clerk while I borrow a key?
Are you asking me to aid you in a criminal act, darling?
Yes.
Oh no! It's the key to an empty room.
And why, may I ask, do you wish to gain access to an empty room? Do you plan to squat?
No, ma'am.
Scouts honor?
I was never in the Boy Scouts, ma'am.
Oh, you should have been. What were your parents thinking of? It's a fine way for a boy to get licked into shape. Now tell me, why do you want to get into that room?
It's next to the room the killer is using.
What killer?
It's a long story. Have you come across a man who calls himself Khan?
I am familiar with only one person named Khan.
Genghis Khan, the legendary Mongol barbarian chieftain?
No, darling. Kevin.
Kevin Khan? I never heard of him.
I'd be most surprised if you had, darling. He's a pharmacist in Hemel Hempstead. Organises fundraising for the Rotarians. Lovely man.
Does he have a scar on his cheek?
I really wouldn't know, sweetie.
Yeah, but you want
Do
pictures.
you recognize the man in this photograph?
My God, it's him. That's Merlin.
She represented everything I loved about the English. The lady was totally deranged.
Hey.
Merlin?
Wait,
You mean King Arthur's wizard?
Good heavens, no. Monsieur Merlin is a fellow guest.
The man you know as Merlin is a fake.
What do you mean, sweetie?
He's a murderer. He also uses the name Khan.
I am shocked, Mr. Stobart. Shaken. I took him to be a gentleman, a man of honour. Do you know, I'd rather like to assist you in stitching him up.
Brilliant.
When did you last see Merlin?
It was no more than an hour ago. He came downstairs and spoke to that clerk chappie. Something passed hands. I couldn't see what exactly.
A briefcase?
No, smaller than that. A bundle of papers, perhaps. The clerk put it in the hotel safe and Merlin went out.
Are you sure you saw Merlin putting documents in the safe?
Yes, darling, positive.
I wonder what they were.
Obviously something of great importance.
Yeah. I'd sure like to get my hands on whatever it is. I'll bet they had something to do with Plantow's briefcase. Has Merlin returned to the hotel?
No, he hasn't. Are you going to search his room?
Yes,
If I could
indeed.
get in there, I would.
And that's why you want the key?
Yes, ma'am. Are you here in Paris on vacation?
No, darling. I needed to get away after Algy's funeral.
I didn't realize you were mourning the loss of a loved one.
I'm not. He was my husband.
I think you have to talk to the clerk first to try and,
Get the key.
yeah, in a way.
And the safe.
Not yet. The safe's not yet.
What
Uh,
now,
please.
monsieur?
I'd like to retrieve something from your safe.
Ah, oui, monsieur. May I see some form of identification?
Like what?
A driving license, perhaps?
I don't drive.
Your passport?
I don't have it with me. I could show you my operation scar.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I must have some form of unique ID.
You won't find a more unique ID than my scar.
I'm sorry. I must insist on a more traditional identification.
Rats. Do you have a guest by the name of Khan?
No, monsieur. Perhaps you would care to check the register.
There was no one registered under the name of Khan, but the name in the book for room 22 was Merlin.
What now, monsieur?
The man who calls himself Khan has a scar on his right cheek.
Vraiment? I tell you, I do not know a man named Khan.
Maybe not, but I noticed a change in his expression when I mentioned the scar.
Does this guy have anything important
Excuse
to say?
me.
I can't remember.
Didn't I see
think
your
so.
picture in the news? You're that Nobel Prize winner from some unpronounceable Eastern European state.
Yes, that is me, in person.
I don't want to worry you, but have you had any threats on your life? You know, mysterious phone calls, letters made up of headlines cut from the newspaper.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you know a guy called Plantow?
I don't know anybody in Paris.
Oh,
Wow.
well, this guy's dead anyhow.
Why do you ask me about dead men? I have seen enough of death to last me a lifetime.
I'm, sure you have. Do you recognize this man? He calls himself Khan.
Yes, I know this man. Why do you carry his photograph?
I'm a private detective. What's your interest in Khan?
He is an enemy of my people.
You know he's a killer.
Of course, amongst other things.
Would you help me investigate Khan?
That is not possible. My instructions are to observe. I cannot jeopardize my position as an honored guest of this country's government.
Fair enough.
Have you seen a clown?
I beg your pardon?
The clown. A guy in funny pants. Have you seen him?
My pants are from England, Marks and Spencer. They are a pleasure and a comfort to wear, with much support.
I
I'm
learned
real
it
glad to
from a
hear that.
book.
You know, it's good to know you Nobel Prize winners are human too.
In my country, the people make do with string and egg cartoons.
For pants?
For everything. Oppression is the mother of ingenuity.
Thanks for your help.
Goodbye.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
I really need that key bad.
I'm not convinced I should help you, darling.
It's next to the room the killer is using.
Ah, so you plan to eavesdrop on Merlin?
I was hoping there might be a connecting door.
Well, how can I refuse? I shouldn't think my feminine charms would be much use in this case, but a good dose of English arrogance might do the trick.
Oh yeah, nothing quite like English arrogance.
Well, there's something more arrogant. American arrogance.
I
True.
say, you there, flunky.
Oui, madame.
Not all Americans are
Listen
arrogant, though.
carefully.
True.
You do understand English, don't you?
But of course, madame.
Good.
But you do see a lot
I
of
wish
people
to
like
deposit some jewelry for safekeeping.
going to foreign countries
understand.
and being shocked when
Are
they
you
can't
quite certain?
get McDonald's or something.
Yes, sir, madame.
It's like, why would you get McDonald's in Italy? What's wrong with you?
Well,
Some of the best food in
Over to
on the
you,
fucking
my
planet,
dear.
and you want to get a fucking Big Mac.
I
Why did you even bother leaving your
I
house?
watched a YouTube channel called The Wandering Ravens, and they did they were touring the UK and they were staying in places around the UK, and they were shocked when they went to London and everyone just crossed the road without pressing the button to wait for the red man.
Maybe it
or
wasn't the
green
right
man.
room, but
And I was
this
like,
was the
everyone
right
started
key.
jaywalking. I was like, yeah, because there's no such thing as jaywalking in this country. Enough said. I can just
There was
imagine
nothing
an
in the
American
wardrobe
cop coming over here,
apart from
stop
a
people
vague,
jaywalking, and then
lingering
being like,
smell
"You're
of
jaywalking, you commit a
camphor.
crime." No, we're not. You know what? I'll tell you one example of American arrogance I did see. It was a
cabinet was
short video
empty,
which I have
but
never
it
been able
smelled
to
of
find
onions.
again.
No kidding.
But it was this
really did.
American trying to get into a British club in the UK. And to try and bypass, I think he got kicked out and he left his coat in there or something, or left something in the club. And do you know what he showed the guy on the door?
What?
His fucking American police badge. That gives you no jurisdiction over here, mate. And in fact, I think he was a marshal, in courts.
Yeah.
So he was one of those. I was like, I don't know why you think that would get you access to the club or give
The
you
closet
special
was a
privileges.
solid, impressive piece of antique furniture.
George, I'm trying to look in the closet. God damn it,
The
George!
closet.
George, you feck! Please.
I don't think you can, mate.
There's two flashing blue dots.
Is there? You sure?
I think there's one there for a second.
The assassin had been too smart to leave incriminating evidence beside his bed.
Of course he I can only see one, I'll be honest.
The bed was freshly made, and the crisp white sheets told me nothing about the killer's habits. It was the battered leather briefcase I'd seen Plantar carrying just before he died. I searched the interior of the briefcase, but as I'd half expected, it was empty.
You want to try and go out the door first.
It was Khan. I had the kind of feeling in my stomach that would usually send me running to the
Oh,
bathroom.
those pants aren't working. Did you notice the glitch on the pants?
No.
His legs move, but the plaid doesn't.
I was dead. But he grabbed
Watch
his pants
carefully.
quickly and didn't even see me. I didn't usually spy on men getting changed,
Lies.
but this guy was a killer, and I didn't want any surprises. He left his checkered pants on the bed.
We will steal this man's pants. Beautiful plan.
I had that kind of feeling you only get from searching still warm pants. There was nothing in the pocket. The pocket was empty. I flipped the pants over. I found an ordinary matchbook. No matches, no clues. But as I pulled it from the pocket, a strong thread came with it. A thread with a metal tag on the end. I pulled on the metal tag and the thread came out of the pants. It was like pulling out a ripcord.
Check the other pocket. Can you check
I found
that?
nothing in the pocket.
Okay. Turn it back over then.
I turned the pants over again. There was nothing in the pocket. I searched the pocket gingerly and found a pass card. It read, Thomas Merlin, Gruber Electronics Corporation. The pocket was empty.
How's that for a look on the
I turned the pants
trousers
over
there?
again.
Well, this is fine. Like, they look fine here. It's just when he's walking around, they look weird.
I found nothing in the
Well, I
pocket.
mean, they already look weird, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think that's it.
I don't remember the metal tag in the first time.
No, there wasn't one. Because you didn't have a zoomed in view. A lot of the puzzles in this game have a zoomed in view. Like ones that weren't zoomed in before. I don't know why you're going that way when you could just walk out the door.
Because I'm sure it makes George uncomfortable.
Yeah, he certainly looks uncomfortable.
At least you don't have to push any blocks. Or climb anything.
What now, monsieur?
Does this pass mean anything to you?
That is Monsieur Merlin's property.
That's right. Merlin the murderer. I want to see what he's left in your safe.
Impossible. I cannot betray his confidence, no matter what you say he's done.
You're making a big mistake.
Maybe I can live with that. A
Can you
murderer? Are you sure?
Can you live with 10 to 20? Do we give the key back now?
I don't think so.
Do you recognize this key?
That is the property of the Hotel Ubu.
Correct.
May I ask how it found its way from the little hook to your pocket?
Would you believe it was put there by a poltergeist?
No, monsieur. The hotel is regularly serviced by an exorcist.
Of course it
If
is.
we had a ghost, Father Fécond would have flushed it out.
I suppose you want the key back.
Not especialement. The room is vacant. Since you are so determined to conduct your little investigation, I won't stop you.
Fair enough.
You have been determined to stop us because you refused to give us the key in the first place.
You just let
That
us
is
into your
refusal.
safe.
You need to talk to her first, I think.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
I found this pass in Merlin's room.
So, that deceitful little man is passing himself off as an electrician, is he?
Uh-huh. This guy probably has a million faces. Did you know there's a gangster out front?
What makes you think he's a gangster?
The Italian suit and the bulge in his pocket?
I know plenty of men with Italian suits and bulges in their pockets. That doesn't necessarily make them gangsters.
I'm sorry to hear about your husband's...
You wouldn't be if you knew him, my dear. It gave me the opportunity to take a well. Daphne suggested a while. Well, the closest I came to romance was being wooed by a drunken Breton chef. I must say I was disappointed with his coq au vin. Not at all what I was expecting. I was thinking of cutting my holiday short, packing my bag. That was...
What happened to you last...
I was stricken, Mr.
They couldn't really miss.
It was just as I... And then, those brooding eyes, that suave manner, those tight trousers. He was the man I'd been...
I'm glad he...
but it wasn't to be. And if...
Who was the guy who...
His name is Merlin.
Did I show you this photograph?
Yes.
I was showing the...
This is the key to room 21.
That's next to the room taken by that rotten Merlin, isn't it?
Yes, and it's vacant.
Really? How convenient.
Maybe it was my imagination, but I had an uncomfortable feeling about this situation. Yeah.
She will be back.
Oh, yes.
I found this matchbook in Merlin's bedroom.
It came from the Club Alamo.
5.
It might be useful to find out if that club is in Paris, George.
We do kind of see a kind of Lady Piermont in 3, but it's
Hello again.
Nice.
True. Well, we did, though. We've already done that game.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Does the name on this matchbook mean anything to you?
Indeed it does, for Alamut was the home of the old man of the mountains. You do not know him?
No, I don't. Do you recognize this key?
No, I do not.
Do you recognize this card?
No, I do not.
Thanks for your help.
Goodbye.
See if you've got any more options with him and then...
What
try to
now,
find again
monsieur?
On Lady Piermont.
Did I show you this pass?
Oui, monsieur.
Okay, you don't have the option, so go back and talk to her.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George.
Can you think...
I can think of someone I'd like to use it on.
Did I show you this photo?
Yes.
Do you know what this is?
At a guess, I'd say it was a clown's nose.
That's right. It was worn as a disguise by a vicious killer.
Ah, Mr. Merlin, perchance.
That's him. I just couldn't bring myself to use the buzzer on this dear lady. I showed the pass, but he wouldn't buy it. He's too scared.
I'll give him something to be
there we
scared
go.
of. Follow me, George!
I knew it was something like that.
But she definitely returns in Serpent's Curse. She's on the cover. I wonder if she ends up being the villain. That would be
Did you place
interesting.
a package from Merlin in the hotel safe?
I did, madame.
And did my friend
I
here
can tell you
show
now,
you
she
Merlin's
doesn't. He's not the
identification?
villain.
Oh, good.
Indeed he
I'll tell you that.
did.
I'll tell you that much
But
now.
Good.
What's the
She's
problem?
too decent
He
to be the villain.
isn't Merlin.
A mere
That might be a bit of a
academic
spoiler,
detail.
but
Give him the package.
no,
But
I don't think it'd be
that
nice
is
to
against
make
the
her
law.
the villain. She
I
doesn't
happen to be a
villain.
justice of the peace, you silly man. I am the law. If he tries anything, shoot him, George.
My pleasure, Lady Piermont.
I think it
One
has
moment,
probably the
please.
most diverse.
You know, I haven't
Locations
enjoyed
that
myself
you
this
go
much
to.
since Greenham Common.
There's Paris.
I don't know what I
there's
would have done
England,
without you, Lady Piermont.
Spain, all sorts of different countries.
All the hits
Voilà,
from
monsieur.
the previous games.
Manuscrit de Monsieur Merlin.
Pretty much.
Quadamonte.
How satisfying.
No,
An
not Quadamonte.
Anglo-American alliance that actually worked.
The clerk had given me a tightly rolled sheet of parchment. I decided not to unroll it until I was safely back in Nico's apartment.
You know, it'd be
Saying it.
well, it'd be a very interesting Broken Sword title.
What?
The Revenge of Tetzalapoka.
That would be an interesting.
Because we
thing to
didn't beat him. We just stopped him from coming out. He's still able to cause us a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I don't think. I think he's sealed in there for all time now. Now show off that. Well, you can't go outside. Remember I told you can't go outside?
Yes.
No, with the manuscript. I mean.
I know.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going upstairs.
I was.
Spoken to her again.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George.
This is what Merlin was so keen to hide.
Really? Well, that fuss for a sample of wallpaper.
It's some kind of manuscript, and it looks to be very old.
If I was you, I'd keep it well out of sight until you're clear of this place.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I could roll it up and put it down my pants.
No, that wouldn't do at all. You'd attract far too much attention.
Fair enough. So we go out to the door now?
No, you can try going out the main doors.
I couldn't leave the hotel with the manuscript. It was probably what those thugs were looking for.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
You cannot die in this game. Oh, okay. The door is unlocked.
Yep.
The cobbles of the alleyway looked very distant and very hard. I knew this was no way to treat an ancient manuscript, but I couldn't let it fall into the hands of the goons waiting outside.
You know what? We might even get as far as Ireland tonight. You know,
It's possible.
it is possible.
I mean, since we're not going around being the worst conversationalist in the world and harassing everybody. And yes, I do mean worst conversationalist because all he does is shove random shit in people's faces and ask them what they think about it.
I do want to show off. I don't want to do the alarm though in the hotel because I always find that hilarious.
Just a minute, monsieur.
What's your problem?
No problem, if you cooperate.
What do you
That
want?
face is
Just
just
a routine
fucking
security.
creepy.
That's Waluigi.
Nothing to worry yourself about.
Well, all right.
Search him, Flap.
You bet.
Hey, knock it off. Get off, you big ape.
Nothing, Guido. Zilch.
Our apologies, monsieur.
What? I had to report you to the authorities.
Round here, we are the authorities.
You want I should break his arms?
No. Let him go, Flap.
And this is the only thing back here,
If the
right?
manuscript was what Flap and Guido were after, they were going to be disappointed.
I actually forgot to say you could have rung. You don't have to do it.
Wait to get back
But
to
you
the
can ring
apartment,
Nico
check it
before
out.
you get round to hers and say you got something awesome to show. And he's like, "What?" And he's, "I was
Hi, how are you?"
surprised." And she goes, "I don't like mysteries, George."
Picked a very bad series of adventure games to appear in then, Nico.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Not anymore. There was someone. A guy in my final year, but it didn't work out. Neither did my degree.
I'm
Who
sorry.
would that be?
I'm not.
Probably not Labano.
I think it probably was.
I don't think so. They're way too okay with each other than a relationship that didn't work out.
Tell me more about your family.
They went
When
to
I was
college.
a little girl, I used to spend the
Well,
winter
she
with
went
my
to art
grandfather
school. He
and
went
grandma.
to
They were
got
the best
a
times.
degree in
Warm and safe in
archaeology.
their tiny cottage. My grandfather rolled cigarettes while Grandma made hot chocolate and cakes. One day, he stopped his scrolling. He put the lid back on his tobacco jar and took me in his arms. I laughed and wriggled, but he hushed me to be silent. With his unshaven chin all scratchy in my ear, he told me his secret.
What did he say?
He said, "I don't smoke, but she likes to think I do."
What a weird old man.
Don't call my grandfather weird. He was the nicest guy ever. I wish I was back in that
Oh, her
cottage instead of
response
this
is so
crummy
much better
apartment
than
in
the
this
original.
noisy city.
She goes really like, "Don't call my grandfather weird. He was the nicest guy ever." She goes
What are
really
you
like
doing to
high
help
pitched
trace the
and
killer
offended.
clown?
Research, George.
Yeah? You have a copy of the clown's yearbook?
I have a telephone and lots of contacts.
Oh, well, did you find anything useful?
Not yet. I'm employing my first and most useful weapon.
What's that?
Patience.
My ability to
I've
tolerate
heard of that.
George Stobart.
Isn't it a substitute for decisive thinking?
No, patience.
Oh, George. George. I forgot just how hateable you are.
What did he say? I missed it.
But it was about patience. I've heard about that. Isn't that a substitute for decisive thinking?
Oh, God.
Nico, take the wooden elephant and beat him with it. He deserves it.
No, she can't break
You're
that.
just not going to believe what I've found.
It's not another part of the clown's costume, is it?
Well, yes, I did find his pants, but that's not important
It's
right
a
now.
medieval manuscript. Khan left it in the safe at the U-boot.
It's incredible.
Look how better that looks. It looks so
It could
much more
be.
detailed.
Which means it's worth enough to kill for.
Don't know why this couldn't have been the cover of the first game.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they couldn't afford one each. What of it?
Have you ever heard of the Knights Templar?
Well,
Their
I think, to be
official
fair, it would have given
seal
too much
was
away.
an image
Because
of
by
two
this point,
knights
they
sharing
would
a
have
horse.
assumed that everyone would have played
Whatever
the
this manuscript means, it's connected with the Templars.
fans.
How come you know about these knights?
I learned about them while writing an article on the Crusades. This guy, named Hughes de Payen, arrived one day at the court of King of Jerusalem. He offered to protect the Christian pilgrims from the displaced Muslim armies. The king would be able to guarantee safe transit to Christians in the Holy Land. Safer journeys meant more pilgrims, and pilgrims meant trade and wealth. The Templars proved invaluable to the king as a mercenary army. It was said that they never asked how many the enemy numbered, just where they were. And as the years went by, the Templars grew in wealth and numbers. They were so rich, even kings came to them for loans. But at the height of their power, they fell foul of the King of France. He rounded them up and turned them over to the Inquisition. Thousands of Templars...
I love how these two are not
torture,
impressed by the fact that they're burning
Of
alive.
course, at the end of the Inquisition, there wasn't
No,
much
they look
wouldn't
bored.
confess to.
They look like it bores them.
Grand Master Jacques de Molay was burned alive.
Jeez. So the treasure is hidden, waiting to be discovered?
If there ever was a treasure, it's been lost for 600 years. Anyway, we're supposed to be investigating a serial killer, not a medieval treasure trove.
But maybe that's what the clown and his accomplices are after. Maybe this manuscript is the key.
You'd better leave it here for safekeeping.
Let's take another look at the manuscript. There's a guy with a sword and a bull.
The only mythological bull I know of is the Minotaur, but he was only half bull.
I don't think I'd like to be half a bull, even if it was the bottom half.
What's that object between them?
It looks like a gem on top of a tripod. There's a guy working on a loom. He's weaving a carpet or a tapestry.
Or a duvet cover? It's a clue to a place, I reckon.
It's
Somewhere famous for
unlikely
weaving and
to be a
sheep.
duvet
Where
cover.
folk live in barrels?
It beats copper boxes.
There's a guy with a
I like how it
knight
zooms
with a
in.
crystal ball. There's something written on the scroll beside the knight.
Yes, but it's written in Latin. Per disciplinam mea lux videbis.
By my teachings, you will see the light.
You speak Latin? Where did you learn a trick like that?
A trick? I studied law, okay? I can read Latin.
My, you're touchy. Tell me that again.
There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
She reminds me of the wicked queen in Snow White.
She was the one who said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall," wasn't she? She made me cry so much when I was a kid. Mom carried me out of the movie theater.
She
Good
didn't frighten
Christ,
me
George, you
Like I
baby.
said, I was only a kid. I didn't like the crocodile in Peter Pan either.
Let's face it, we need help, George. Someone who knows about these things.
Who do you suggest? Indiana Jones?
I wish.
I know a guy who specializes in medieval studies. His name is Lobino.
Huh. Some stuffy old fossil
I've just
gets
come up with
horny
a
over
really,
ancient
really
relics, I
bad
suppose.
Far from it.
Thought.
Andre isn't the stereotypical professor you have in mind.
That
Where
could
can I find this Lobino
kind
guy?
of
At the
prove
Krun
that
Museum.
Broken Sword
I'll
and the
give you the
Indiana Jones
address.
universe are one and the same.
Nope, it doesn't. It can't.
What? Why wouldn't it?
Because a piece of the Ark of the Covenant was stashed under one temple for hundreds of years, and another piece was stashed under another temple for hundreds of years. While in the Indiana Jones universe, the Ark has been essentially in Area 51 since the mid 30s, late 30s.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. We know exactly where the Ark is, and it was confirmed to still be there in the 50s in Kingdom of the Crystal
Let's
Skull.
take another look at the manuscript.
Look
Do you
there,
think
two guys.
the Ark is a real thing?
Pardon?
Do you think it's a real thing, like in terms of reality? Like, do you think it ever existed?
What do you mean?
So, like, in terms of like,
Why can't you get out of the manuscript?
but I don't know. Is there something else you have to look at, maybe?
Look there, two guys on the same horse.
Okay, how do I leave?
There's a woman look at the
Okay.
a night through my teeth. There's a guy between.
Fuck, I thought I got another
Okay.
fucking glitch.
Don't forget to look for Lobino at the Krun Museum.
So do I think there was actually...
Do you think the Ark could actually exist in the real world, like how we are now?
Depends.
real-
Do you mean the Indiana Jones version of the Ark, the Broken Sword version of the Ark, or just a golden box that carried around the Ten Commandments tablets in?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I doubt it had fucking superpowers or was made of monatomic gold, but probably. I doubt it was made that. I don't know where they would have gotten actual gold though, so I doubt it made of gold. But
Well, the reason why I say it is because they talk about the Ark in a documentary I saw about the Templars and how they had the Ark as well as the Holy Grail and all that as their part of their treasure. But then, but this is a real thing. When the Templars were eliminated, the treasure disappeared.
Yeah.
And people have got theories about where it is, but don't know for sure.
I think the Templar treasure was a lot more mundane than people pretend, or people like to think. I think it was just personally just a fuck ton of gold. I think it was just purely currency.
Really?
Personally, yeah. And if there was anything there, it will have been found and looted by now.
Not necessarily.
Oh, it wouldn't have been as complicated as stories make it out to be.
In the case was a spindly tripod, blackened with age and pitted with rust. It was identical to the tripod pictured on the manuscript. A notice identified it as 15th century from Western Ireland. It had been found in Loch Marne at the site of a Knights Templar preceptory.
Ireland? What's that?
This tripod was found in Ireland.
I will have to ask you to keep your voice down.
I'm sorry, I was excited. The case contained the tripod shown on the manuscript. Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Are you Lobino?
Oh, no. Fancy you mistaking me for him. No. I am the deputy custodian.
But Lobino does work here.
Work? I wouldn't go so far as to call
That's
it
the guy in the
that
cafe.
he studies here most days, but as you can see for yourself, not
Is it?
today.
It must be.
But he's much, much, much older in Broken Sword 2 then.
Well, if you remember, in number 2, he says he or is it yeah, he said that he was meant to be patrolling the museum, and it's
But the guy at the cafe, he said he was a cop. This is not a cop.
maybe he was a night watchman.
Maybe. I think it's supposed to be the drunk cop who was there before.
Yeah, you're right.
Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod, That belonged to John Dee.
What's
John
the
Dee?
importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century. The Houdini of his time.
Don't you mean alchemist? Escapologists use ropes, chains, and handcuffs, not tripods.
Well, whatever he was, that is the tripod he used in his experiments.
What kind of experiments did John Dee perform with his tripod?
Oh, the usual. Didn't you study chemistry at school?
Yeah, but we skipped over thaumatology. Can I take a closer look at the tripod?
What? Get it out of the case? Ah, no! That tripod is protected by a sophisticated surveillance system.
How sophisticated?
A painfully loud alarm bell.
How is the alarm bell triggered?
By the slightest pressure on or movement of any part of the case wherein that tripod is situated.
It strikes me that to call your alarm system sophisticated is, well, stretching the truth a little.
It has never failed yet. The sophistication is in its simplicity.
We have a very sophisticated security system, really? Yes, I stand here, I watch the case. If you touch the case, I shoot you.
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. I am no scholar. Though people often mistake me for one. It is the uniform, I guess. They see the clothes. They are impressed.
And they ask you to park their cars?
They ask me to park the... No. They assume I am an authority on the exhibits in my case.
Whereas you know next to
They
nothing
think he's
about
a what's
history.
his name that you see outside
All
the
I
Funny
am saying
Hotel.
is, I am no
A
scholar.
valet?
Not like Monsieur
Yeah.
Lobineau.
By the way, valet and valet are not to be confused. Valet, park your car. Valet, butler. Mr. Jeeves in Jeeves and Wooster is a valet.
Fair enough.
Also, if you've never watched Jeeves and Wooster, it's fucking brilliant. Check it out.
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
The sign on the tripod
Not a sausage?
says it was found at a Templar preceptory.
It does?
Yeah. It doesn't mention John Dee at all.
Most remiss.
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't.
No.
I never had much of a start in life, you see. I owe what little education I gained to my uncle. He was an optician, but he also doubled as the village school teacher. He taught me the alphabet. Wait, 19 letters of it. The bottom row of the chart was too small even for him to read, so he left them out.
Why don't you start over and enroll for adult education?
You know, I never thought of that. Do you think if I studied hard and did all my homework, I could be a professor of history?
No.
At your age? Dream on.
Nothing. We got nothing else for him, right?
Not really.
Thanks for your help.
You not touch the case? Does it let you? I thought it would let you, but
As
Oh,
I
it
reached
does.
toward the display case,
Okay.
a shrill piping filled the air. I froze, then tried to get myself together and act nonchalantly.
No, monsieur. No, no.
Okay.
George, why are you looking towards over there? He's over to the left. Did that just make a noise when you rocked it?
Yes. Police, Music Queen, Rue
Where's the,
Jarry.
where's the airport?
We haven't realized we have to go there yet?
Okay. I
Maybe
thought
we have to talk to Nico.
Hi.
Possibly.
I've been to the Kroon Museum.
Did you speak to Lobineau?
No, he wasn't there.
His face. His face there was fucking brilliant.
I found the tripod.
Where?
In the museum. It belonged to the Templars. It was dug up in Ireland at a place called Loch Marn.
I have heard of Lochmarn. I read an article about the castle. Take a look for yourself.
A popular gossip magazine. You read that rubbish?
No, I write it.
Professor Nigel
For fuck's
Pegram,
sake.
excavating the medieval castle at Loch Marne. That's strange.
What?
He resigned his chair at Durham University in order to devote his time to the excavation. Not only that, but he canceled the filming of a 4th series of his popular television program. This site at Loch Marne must be awful important to him.
He's a professor of history. They're all cuckoo.
All the same, I'd like to talk to this Professor Pegram. How do you feel about a trip to Ireland?
Disappointed.
Huh?
That I won't be going. I want to follow up the Bellotta case. If you really think Pegram's dam is important, why don't you visit Loch Marne?
On my own? I'm not so sure about that. Where is Ireland exactly?
You know that island next to England? It's that. It's not small.
Have you found out any more about the murders?
Well, it may be nothing, but both the clown's victims visited Paris earlier this year.
When?
The second week of July. They were both here at the same time.
Did they meet?
I don't know, but I can't imagine it was coincidence.
Nico, you fucking know they did.
Yeah, but she
I
doesn't
have to
know.
go.
She has no reason to tell
I'll see you
George.
later.
Yeah, because the reason why is because it goes along with the story of her father being involved. To a degree. Ah, now we can go. So you have to do the extra thing. I love the new map, though. New map
It is
really
nice.
cool.
It is very nice. It doesn't. It's not as well, we don't have just stereotypes of countries floating around.
What do you mean?
I think
I passed the castle on the way into Loch Marne. The castle where Pegram's excavation was located.
Remember we had like Spanish people dancing and stuff on that that map?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I tugged at the plastic cover, but it didn't move.
He's not whistling in this
Hi there.
one either.
What?
What's your name, kid?
Who are you calling kid? Who the hell are you?
I'm George Stobart, and I'm with the good guys.
You're a head case, mister. A few sandwiches short of the picnic.
Cut the crap and tell me your name.
Liam McGuire.
What are you doing hanging around the bar, McGuire?
I'm on the run. From me dad.
Why? Did you do something bad?
I ain't done nothing, boss.
You can tell me, kid. Is it your dad?
Oh, sir. He drinks every last penny down his evil throat.
You've just met George and you're telling him all about yourself. George, you are fucking...
I tried to buy him.
Yeah, but none of this is true, remember?
Firewood for Father Mahoney till
True.
the fingers bled. He
Also, his mouth no longer moves.
cheated me too.
No.
But I took the pennies he gave me back home. Look, Ma, says I. See what your darling son has earned with his own sweat and blood. When suddenly, me dad appears and grabs the loot. I'm off to Dublin, heavy drinking, says he. Watch out till I get back. That's why I runned away.
Something in the grin on his face told me he wasn't being strictly truthful. Compared to him, Huckleberry Finn was a candidate for Altar Boy of the Year.
You mean Tom Sawyer. Tom Sawyer was the troublemaker, not Huck. Anyway, you know what this guy deserves?
Give me your hand.
Get lost.
Oh, come on. I just want to show you a little trick.
No way, mister. I don't do tricks. Father Mahoney told me I'd burn in hell if I did.
I just want to shake your hand, that's all.
No way.
Damn it. Guess you can only do it if we're a cop. Well, tell him we're a cop.
What can you tell me about the castle, McGuire?
What do you want to know?
Well,
think
can I
he
get
can get
inside?
away.
No. It's locked up.
Does anyone live there?
No. Only, what do you want to know? Oh, nothing.
You know something about the castle you're not telling me, don't you?
That what I want to
No.
know was
What is it you're covering up?
That it put the wrong line. It's like,
I ain't
only
scared
what
of
you want to know. No. It's like he's talking to himself. He's lost his fucking mind. He's away with the fairies.
I'll give you one last chance to tell me about the castle.
Oh, yeah? And what if I don't?
then I'm taking you back to school.
Oh, there's a ghost. It's called the Phantom of Loch Man.
You're not telling me you believe in ghosts, are you?
Mister, I seen it with me very own eyes. Last Tuesday night, I went up to see what that dig was about. I just reached the top of the wall when I hears this awful noise.
What sort of noise?
A horrible snuffling and snorting, like O'Brien's pig, only worst. It was coming from inside the castle.
Did you find out what was making the noise in the castle?
No fear. I just sat there on the wall like Humpty Dumpty. The moon was cracked and greasy like an old dinner plate.
The moon was greasy?
Was full of shadows. I could have been hiding anything. I would have gone home, but my legs had lost their stuffing.
Did you get to see the ghost?
Indeed I did. And a fearsome sight it is too. I sat on my arse, waited while the moon went down. Then out it comes from the shadows, all grey and tattered and hunched over like an old bent willow. Then I hears this spluttering and splashing and horrible laughter in the dark. I was so scared. Why, I fell off the bloody wall.
I'm sure there's a rational explanation for what you saw at the castle.
There is. The bloody place is haunted.
Have you seen a guy dressed as a clown?
Here in Lochmarn, they all dress like clowns.
The man I'm looking for is a dangerous psychotic.
Jesus. It's just like that film I saw. There's this clown, see, and he's after this kid who saw him kill a guy. He tries to warn the sheriff, only no one believes him. Then, while he's in the tub, the clown cuts him up with a chainsaw.
My God, that doesn't sound suitable for a kid like you.
Who are you calling a kid? I'm 25.
Yeah, right. You're not a day over 14.
Oh no, it's 25 that I am. Married with a car and 3 kids. 10 kids if you count the wives.
Do you know a man called Pegram?
Can you describe him like on the telly in the cop shows?
He's an English archaeologist.
I know the man you mean if he's the one.
Can you tell me where I'd find Pegram?
No, I can't, because he's not here now, but if I sees him, I'll ask him.
Do you know what Pegram was doing in the castle?
Digging for buried treasure. Jewels and gold and skeletons, like in the films.
Well, thank you for your help. Shame I can't electrocute you this time.
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
Maybe they got flack for letting you electrocute a kid.
I think it might have been, this did come out in like the late 2000s, didn't
Yeah,
it?
2010, 2009.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's about all the time we got for now. We're much further along. This is episode 4. I think this was episode like 9 on the first go through.
No, I don't think it was. No, it couldn't be episode 9.
I'll double check. Anyway, I've been Merrick Tomato.
And I've been Classic Gamer.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Hi. Thanks for watching. This has been played, edited, and recorded by me, Merrick Tomato.
And he's been helped by me, Classic Gamer.
You can find a link to Classic's YouTube channel, Classics Gamer, and his Twitch in the description below. Please like, comment, and subscribe.